Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Racers Driving League Season 12 for round number 20 of the Championship, the Canadian Grand Prix here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. We're being greeted with a bit of rain for today's qualifying session, so that might throw a spanner in the works for some of these drivers in the running. We've got Aston Martin making their way out onto the track now, and that is Ben 357 Lim, who's currently making his way out of the pit lane, the first driver onto the racetrack. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's 35 points separating Salve Landlord from Salve Blaze at the top two in the championship as it stands. So 10 more points from Blaze tonight, provided that he outscores Landlord, and that could put him back within championship winning range. So this title fight isn't over yet, but should Landlord finish in the top two and Blaze failed to score points today, that means that, if I'm not mistaken, that will mean Landlord is the Season 12 champion. I'll be able to confirm here in just a moment that will be Landlord's third championship after winning the title in Season 8 and Season 9. Since then, he's been succeeded by Lucky Lambert and Touch Me Poke, both of whom are racing today. Ben, meanwhile, making his way down towards the main straight to get going on that first lap of the session. Qualifying will be crucial here should the rain persist through to the race. So here comes Ben then off through the wall of through the last corner. He's invalidating his out lap, but it doesn't matter. Past the wall of champions and towards the line to start his first run. So down towards that first corner. It's a very short run to turn one. That left hander, you've got to get right on the curves for that. Make sure not to go away. He's invalidated already. So I'm assuming he got a thing for this lap or next lap invalidated. So we'll go to the car behind him, which I believe is the Mercedes of Ethan. Yes, it is. So Ethan now over the line to start his first lap. As I say, short run down towards that first corner. Gets on the curbs there, but not too much on the curbs. Through that next right of turn 2. Goes right back to the left-hand side on the exit, making his way towards the first chicane on the circuit. Let's be careful not to spin out here and make any form of mistake. Going towards the Sector 1 split now. Let's see what he's got underneath the collar. That's 22.7 seconds for that first split. He goes over the curbs there as he makes his way through the second chicane. And down one of the DRS straights, of course. DRS won't be deployed while the rain is here. So unless things dry up, into the next chicane now. Yet again a good run from the Mercedes driver as he makes his way now towards that second sector split. Let's see how he does. It's a 47.7 as he makes his way into that very tight right-hander at the far end of the circuit. Oh, he's hit the wall there. And that's going to be a crucial couple of tenths off of the time, potentially even a second because of that mistake. So definitely won't be his best lap, but a banker lap nonetheless as he makes his way down that long penultimate straight and towards the final corner now. And he's going into the pits, so I'm assuming he's got front wing damage then when we get to finish his lap. Actually behind him in the Ferrari. Coming to the line now, see what his lap looks like. The first valid lap of the session, 1 minute 19.5, but PJ Coward in the McLaren quickly exceeds that. And Ericsson goes into second place, 1 minute 18.9, so about 5 tenths off here. So still with a bit of work to do. Both the AlphaTauris coming through to the line now. I believe Landlord must have been validated. But Blaze goes fastest by 3 tenths, 1 minute and 18.9, sorry, 198 in the Alfa Romeo there. So good stuff from the driver who's currently chasing the championship leader in the AlphaTauri. 4 drivers having set times. Was one of the Red Bulls. That's Websy through to start his first flying lap. Next car through, I believe, is one of the Williams machines. And that is BJ, who rounds the last corner now. Could potentially set the top time. Doesn't though, he's second off to 1 minute 19.0. That puts him in P4. And there was Ben setting a valid lap this time. 1 minute 19.007. So very close there as Pope goes 6th fastest. A tenth separating the about a tenth between 3rd and 7th. So 3rd and 6th at the moment. A couple more cars coming through now. I believe that's PJ Coward coming back round for a second time. Doesn't improve. Next car, I believe, is one of the Alpines. That's Ericsson who rounds the last corner now. Landlord goes up into second place. Just a 10th off of Blaze at the moment. Blaze now over the line, invalidated this time. So things looking good then. Once again, the two title contenders looking to be potentially sharing the front row. With 3 rounds to go, the championship still could go anyone's way. Excuse me, I've just realised that my maths earlier was wrong, and Landlord can't win the championship today. Actually, no, never mind. I am right. That'll be 50 points. So Landlord can walk away as champion. So that's my mistake. This will be crucial on Blaze. He scores today. As C110P fan spun out. Fan currently 4th in the running. Gets himself going again, but has no front wing from what I'm seeing. Taking on the Alfa Romeos. That's Fergus going through. He's yet to set a valid lap. Is this one valid? Yes, it is. We'll have to see what it looks like here when he comes through. It's about second sector split. Bit of a skid there, but manages to hold the car on the exit. He makes his way now towards that split. 47.0, which isn't too bad at all. Out of the right-hander and down that DRS straight. As I said earlier, no DRS being deployed for now. As Landlord now goes fastest. Very tight there, about 300s in it. 1 minute 18.1, and then Blaze has now exceeded that. He's the first driver into the 1 minute 17s. 1 minute 17.764. And Fergus coming towards the line now. Goes 5th fastest, so things looking good for Alfa Romeo, sorry, as of right now. In terms of those constructor standings, AlphaTauri 5 points in front of Williams here. The consistent pairing of C110P fan and BJ still doing the job as Dan retires from the session. He's coming together with Curtis in the Mercedes, who is yet to set time. So it looks like he'll be starting at the back of the grid for the race. We can potentially get to one of the Williams points of views and see what's going on here. And both cars strewn at the side of each side of the track. So unfortunate for them, both out of qualifying here. Dan is in a decent position because while drivers might improve, he's got a lap time set already. That's a 1 minute 19.4, and right now that's enough to put him in 12th place on the grid. Which, should things be dry, it'll give him free tyre choice for the race, which could open up some strategy options for him. But AlphaTauri, Dan has been good in the races, especially in recent weeks, despite a retirement last time out in Abu Dhabi. Of course, Blaze won that race last week, Landlord finished in 2nd, and C110P fan in 3rd place. But Canada is a vastly different track to Abu Dhabi, as Websy invalidates there in the Red Bull. 14 drivers having now set lap times. Luigi's Fen and Lucky Lambert both on their outlaps here. We'll have to see what the Haas driver can do in particular. He's still battling there for 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship with BJ, who is currently sitting 8th in the running order. 9.5 minutes to go in the session. Lucky Lambert through turn 1 and now into turn 2. Slight skill on extra looks of things. He's got Ben in the Aston Martin just behind him for company there. There's a wheel that's still didn't despawn. I think that's coming from the AlphaTauri of Dan. Through the chicane here. Is there DRS yet? I feel we've got the message as Ethan slows up, as is Ericsson. I'm not quite sure what's going on there with those two. Back to Lucky Lambert though, who's 22.8 the first split. The second split is a 48.0. This probably could be better. But I'm sure he's satisfied with this as a first lap so far as he makes his way down that DRS straight. Gear 8 as he makes his way towards that final chicane. It's a slot of big time for that. 192 miles an hour, the top speed he hits. I believe he locked up there going into that last chicane. Past the wall of champions and now towards the line. And it's not going to be enough to place himself in front of BJ by 4/10. And I've just noticed that BJ and Ben have the exact same time. But BJ will have the edge because he set it first, and it will definitely get the edge now because he's improved his lap time by a fair amount. 1 minute 18.3, and that puts him just in front of PJ Khaled in the McLaren. And now Luigi Sven in the Ferrari. That was unlikely. He goes 4th fastest, just in front of PJ Khaled. That puts the McLaren down to the 3rd row alongside C110P fan, who is currently a quarter of a second up. Khaled now towards the line. Can he improve as well? No, he can't. 1.5 seconds off. We'll look now to Fan, who, as I say, was a quarter of a second up as he made his way through that sector 2 split. He's now getting a toe off Blaze. He's on the right-hand side, sorry, on the left-hand side, and that came very close to contact. If he'd been any closer, that might have been him wiped out and potentially could have put an end to Blaze's session as well. The Alfa Romeo is coming through to start his next flying run, but Fan's invalidated. I've just noticed that. I believe that was through the final corner. But this lap would have been a 1 minute 18.2, which would have put him into 3rd place, so just in front of Pope, who I haven't noticed has gone quicker. And he might go quicker still here as he comes to the split. It's a 46.6. He's now 3/10 up, and that could potentially put him just in front of Landlord. I'm sure Blaze would appreciate that. Blaze out of sector 1 at almost half a second up, as BJ now goes 2nd fastest, so he improves his lap even further. The Landlord, though, is 2/10 up. We'll see what Pope does here as he makes his way out of the final corner, or into the final corner now, and out to that last turn, and now towards the line. The lap's still valid as he makes his way towards the finish, and he goes fastest by a 10.5, 1 minute 17.6. So that pushes Blaze down to P2. He's invalidated here. Landlord down into the final corner. Perhaps not the fastest of exits. Oh, he's skidding there. He almost lost the yes, round he goes. He's lost the car on the main straight. No damage done to the AlphaTauri. But he's had to wait for iChain to go past now. And the Ferrari driver doesn't improve, so stays P16. But unfortunate for Landlord there. Meanwhile, I believe that C110P fan, sorry, he's validated and he came to the last corner. 1 minute 19.0 for him. Wouldn't have been enough to improve. Here comes Blaze to the line as he backed off after invalidating. BJ's also invalidated. Landlord has backed off. So now it's the reigning champion, Husband Pope, who won't be the reigning champion in 2 races' time. He's now currently on pole position. Provisional pole as it stands. But who would have guessed Luigi Sven in 5th place for Ferrari? Of course, Ferrari haven't had the best of seasons. Still sitting there bottom of the table, but a good qualifying and a decent race for Luigi Sven could mean the difference with some form of difference between McLaren and Ferrari, who still sit there at the bottom of the table. McLaren potentially more looking in front of them than looking over their shoulder. It's only 10 points between them and Red Bull in 8th place as it stands. Mercedes in a world of their own, potentially looking over their shoulders at Red Bull. Not 100% sure. There's 16 points separating them at the moment. As C110P fan was half a second up in sector 2 here. We'll have to see what he does into this final corner. Doesn't invalidate. He's on the grass side. This still could be a very good time. He comes to the line. It's P3. So that means that Williams now lock out the second row. We're into the final 5 minutes now of this session. And Fan is in 3rd place, BJ 4th, and this pushes Landlord down to 5th place. We've seen how good Landlord is on the opening lap over the course of this season so far. I'm sure he wouldn't mind to be faster on the opening lap than those around him, potentially make up places. The opening lap is especially his forte, whereas some drivers might not be their cup of tea. But for Landlord, it's exactly what he enjoys. Couple of drivers on their route laps now. Huggy Bear starting on his first flying run. Making his way through the chicane now and coming towards the sector 1 split. A decent point scoring finish for both McLaren drivers today, and a bit of bad luck for Ferrari. Could push them further out in front of their Italian rivals in the constructor standings. And now down the straight. Got Mercedes just behind them. He's quite far back to be honest. JB was retired from the session earlier, so he'll be starting last for the race from the looks of it. But it looks like Curtis will be taking that spot alongside him on the back row. Huggy Bear now making his way down that DRS straight. It's equal pickings in terms of weather for everyone so far. There's been no sign of this rain letting up. Huggy now into the final corner and out the last turn towards the line. What can he do? It's not the best of times. 1 minute 20.2. In fact, it's the worst of all the times been set so far. Connie Goblin on his out lap, which solves the weekly question of whether or not he'll set a lap. He's going out the garage today. Rare appearance from him in qualifying. There's no disrespect to him. As I say that, commentator's curse strikes. Oh, he's retired on the on that back straight. He's lost control of the car by the looks of things. Let's head over to Huggy so he can just see his perspective as he walks past. There, drives past. There it is. There is the stricken Red Bull. I can imagine that must be very frustrating for the Red Bull driver. That means he'll be one of the drivers in the bottom 4 on the grid. 4 drivers have retired. BJ is on a lap at the moment. Just under 2 minutes left to go, so we're seeing a lot of drivers now on the track for those last runs. Fergus making his way out the second corner, while BJ is just under 2 tenths up. Oh, yellow flag in front of him. Not sure what that's for. But he comes towards the line now. It's an improvement. 1 minute 17.9, which puts him back up to 4th place. Blaze now coming to the sector 1 split. He's a 10th up. He can gain some more, but he might just be able to potentially retake pole position. But Pope's on an outlap here. He's coming to the line, but he's invalidated here. So when did he invalidate? That might have something to do with it. If he's invalidated for this and next lap, he hasn't. But if he had, that would have been a major problem for him. Oh, and Blaze now 4 tenths up. So this could be a change in who claims pole position. Landlord's down in 6th here, and he's 7 tenths down. So I'm thinking P6 with the best he can hope for, unless we see some vast improvements in him in the second sector. But I feel like that's a gap that's potentially too much to claw back. With only 30 seconds to go, he's not going to have a chance to make it round for another lap. Whereas Blaze might have another shot here if he misses. Out the last corner and towards the line. What's it going to be for the Alfa Romeo driver chasing on the championship lead, which he held? He goes fastest by that 4 tenths, 1 minute 17.289. BJ now through the final corner. He's half a second down to reach the final 10 seconds of this session. Pope a 10th up. Not enough. Fergus 2.5 seconds. Comes to the split. Sorry, it's half a tenth. We just changed there. The checker flag has now fallen. Next. He's invalidated there, so 5th will be the best he can get. Landlord here has closed down a lot of that time, so might go a little bit faster and could put himself up into the top 5 maybe. But he's invalidated there, so that'll be qualifying over him. And by the lofty standards of the championship leader, it's not been very good. And he would have gone, into. He would have gone potentially up into 3rd place if he managed to hold on in that last corner, but didn't do it. Louis Sven coming through is a 10.5 up. So potentially could put himself in front of Landlord. And that would mean the AlphaTauri driver starts from the 4th row as BJ's retired. So I think he's crashed. Louis Sven now down that penultimate straight for the last time. Both Alfa Romeos at the side. It's looking like a Blaze pole position here. Into the last corner. That's a really slow entry from the Ferrari there. He might be able to pull something out of the hat here. Down that straight he comes. Oh, and he doesn't improve by much. Or he doesn't improve at all. So no change in position. Luigi Sven will start 7th for the race, and that'll just about settle it here. That means Salve Blaze then on pole for the Canadian Grand Prix after a very impressive run late on. Touchby Pope will start in 2nd place, and crucially for the championship leader Landlord, he starts down in 6th place for the Grand Prix itself. So we should be back in a few minutes time. The race will start at 25 past 7, so make sure to stick around. Until then, we'll see you in just a few moments.
Yeah, why did you invite me?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Looking forward now to the start of the Canadian Grand Prix, which is seconds away from getting underway for the formation lap. We've got a bit of nicer weather here in the at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve now compared to qualifying. It was a bit rainy over the course of qualifying, but now for the race, it should be very, very exciting indeed. We've got dry weather, which means everyone will be able to show their best stuff. And we get started now on the formation lap, and we'll take you through the starting grid for those of you who had just got here. What should be a very exciting race. So it's Salve Blaze then on pole position, chasing the championship lead. He's 35 points back as of right now, but a victory could pull him ever closer to the championship leader. Starting in second place, the reigning champion Touch Me Pope, who started on the medium tyres today. So it's in a bit of change strategy here between some of the guys in the top 10 who set their laps on mediums by the looks of things. Oh, sorry, no, excuse me, it's a wet qualifying, so everyone gets a free tyre choice. So Pope's gone with the mediums as well as a couple of other drivers in the pack. C110P fan and BJ occupy row number 3 for Williams, so impressive job from them in qualifying. They'll try and continue to chase AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship, 5 points separating them as it stands. Fergus starts in 5th place, capping up another good qualifying. Alfa Romeo, it's the championship leader, Landlord, who leads by 35 points, starting 6th. If he outscores Blaze by 15 points today, he will become the champion of Season 12. Luigi Sven starts in 7th place, very impressive qualifying from him in the Ferrari. And it's PJ Callett occupying the outside of row number 4. Zach Sherman starts in 9th place, and Ericsson rounds out your top 10 for Alpine. And it's Ben in 11th place for Aston Martin, and it's the other Ferrari of Aiche starting in 12th place. So decent qualifying for Ferrari in the mid-pack, so we're hoping to try and make up some more places and potentially get some good points out today. Then it's Websy in 13th, Lucky Lambert 14th for Haas. Bit of a poor qualifying for me, looking to try and make things up in the race. Ethan starting in 15th place in the first Mercedes. Then it's Dan 16th, again being largely out-qualified by his teammate. Huggy Bear starts in 17th. Courtney Goblin, who retired from the session, starts in 18th. Curtis, who was involved in a crash with Dan during qualifying, starts on the outside of the last row. And JB, who retired without second lap time, rounding them out. So then Blaze makes his way towards that pole position slot for the start of the Grand Prix. 35 laps around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and what should be a very exciting 20th round of the season. We've only got 3 more to go, and it looks like this is the first race where the title can be claimed by this driver in the AlphaTauri, and that's Salve Landlord, who has a chance of winning the title today if he, as I say, if he outscores Blaze by 15 points. As JB now takes the final spot on the starting grid, as we get ready now for the start of the race. Round number 20 of the championship here in Canada, about to get underway. 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and it's lights out and away we go. It's a good getaway from Blaze. They charge towards turn 1. He's got a brilliant start there, and C110P fan already looking at the inside as BJ gets all out of shape, allowing Fergus to try and go make a move on him for 5th. Now, so Blaze gets away very well indeed. Pope still holds into 2nd place. Landlord's gained 2 places already. He might get a 3rd one here as he goes past C110P fan in the chicane, and he does. The 2 Williams drivers dropping back early on. They've lost a place each. Pope holds into 2nd, 6 tenths behind Blaze to start this one off. So very good start from the Alfa Romeo, but in the other Alfa Romeo, meanwhile, Fergus has lost a place, so he's got work to do here. He'll try and get that one back. PJ can't hold off Luigi Sven for the time being, and Ben pushes past a couple of drivers, or Ericsson to be precise, playing his way back up into the top 10 to start this one off. Behind them, Aiche holding off Lucky Lambo. He's really dropped back a half second between them as JB and Ethan now going at it. Oh, there's a yellow flag behind them there. That's the Mercedes of Ethan, who's gone around. No damage done to the Black Arrow, but it looks like he's going to get away okay, but he's lost a decent amount of time. Blaze now pulling out 8/10 lead over Pope in second place. And Landlord not too far behind here with a good tow, using that battery to his advantage. Will take second place. They make their way back down towards the final chicane to complete the first lap of this race. Landlord now up in second place. And that'll be another 7 points as of right now. There'll be 8 as they cross the line. The Blaze will gain on Landlord should things stay as they are. A C110P fan already into the pit lane, so he may have damage there in that on that Williams. So not what you like to see. Will they be planning a front wing change? And they are going for a front wing change as well as a fresh set of medium tyres as well. So not the best of starts then for Fan. I'm assuming that's why he dropped back so much. The Williams driver now away, out and making his way out of the pit lane and back out onto the racetrack. The Blaze then with a 1.2 second advantage over Landlord now, and Pope not too far behind the AlphaTauri driver in third place. Further back, Luigi's Fenn still chasing PJ Khaled. He's used about half his battery already in that Ferrari, so he's going to have to do some saving in order to get a little bit more. Zach Sherman about 7 tenths behind him on those medium tyres, so the strategic choices differing an awful lot out there, over the entire field. Oh, as Landlord hit the wall there. Does he have damage? He may have gotten away okay, I'm not sure. He's got away fine, but Pope is now right on his tail, and the DRS will be deployed on the next laps. And when we next go down this straight, he'll have DRS to go on the attack. There's 3 DRS zones on this circuit as they make their way past the wall of champions, and down will be the first one as Blaze sets the fastest lap once again, 1 minute 11.5. And we get the message now from Race Control that DRS has indeed been enabled at the start of lap number 3. Pope now right on the back of Landlord, half a second behind as it stands. BJ back there in 4th. He's now the sole Williams in the top 10 as C110P fan. About 10 seconds back from Ethan in 19th place, who's doing his best to try and catch the pack here. Huggy Bear in the McLaren's also fallen back a decent amount. He's 2 seconds behind Curtis, but he's on those harder tyres, so while they may be slower now, they'll be able to take those longer into the Grand Prix. Landlord on it now out of DRS range. Yellow flag here in sector 2. Not quite sure what that's about. Let's have a look back here and see what's going on. And that is Lucky Lambert in the Haas who's spun out. Does he have damage? I have to see. I think he's got away okay. Yes, he has. No damage for the Haas driver, but it will mean potentially that C110P fan might have someone to fight. Pope now, half second still behind Landlord. Will he use his battery, or at least a bit of it, in order to try and get past? 1.2 seconds separate the 2 leaders as it stands. Pope not close enough yet, or could have a decent run into turn 1. They make their way through that last chicane. Doesn't get a good enough exit. He's still about 3 tenths behind, so he's gained a bit of time. Pope now sets the fastest lap, 1 minute 11.541 in that Alpine, and now right on the back of Landlord. So we'll need to stay right there. He'll be in the dirty air of the AlphaTauri. As Lucky Lambert is disconnected here. Back there in 19th place. In a moment we'll re-invite him back, but it doesn't look like Pope will get it for the time being, so I'm going to invite him back. Oh, never mind, he's back in the race, so no worries at all. Ericsson gets hit with a penalty for multiple warnings there, so unsure as to why that's happened. I'm assuming it's probably going to be track limits. I feel like there's a lot of points on the track where you can really be caught out, as Fergus there proves that point, gets 3 seconds himself for multiple warnings. Pope on those medium tyres. Oh, Landlord goes a bit wide, and that could open the door for the Alpines to try and make a move. Hasn't closed in enough. Landlord with a decent exit, 4 tenths separate them. Pope uses his battery on the exit. I feel like this might be the lap where he gets him down towards maybe turn 1. He could try and go from here in the last chicane. He's going to go for it here, but he backs out. Smart choice there. He definitely would have got a warning of some kind if he tried to go for it. JB now up into 14th place in the Haas. He's had a very good start here. Let's have a look at position changes here from these opening few laps. So yeah, the biggest gainer is indeed JB, who's gained 6 places on the start, having started in last place. Although in reality he can't actually lose any places, he started at the back of the grid. C110P fans lost 17 places, unfortunately for him. But he's now battling Lucky Lambert, so he's going to have someone up there to do battle with. Blaze now, we look at the advantage for him. He's still about a second between them. The interval's gone off here, so I'm unsure as to what the gap will be until they come back round to the line. Pope's dropped back a little bit here. Is he still in DRS range? I'm assuming that he is. He definitely seems closer to me. But he's definitely dropped back by a decent amount. So I'm thinking he may have made a mistake earlier on in the lap. BJ a decent way back from these guys in 4th. Fergus is chasing him in the Alfa Romeo. PJ Card now into 6th place thanks to C110P fan pitting it in the first lap. We'll just spend all over his case. They make their way now down that DRS straight. PJ will not have DRS with a bit of a train behind him here, including the 2 Aston Martins. Which is fair now, looking outside into the final chicane. I think Callum had to back out, but he's going to stick his nose in there. Has to make the job a lot harder, and Callum goes around the outside, and here comes one of the Aston Martin's gone to attack that Zach Sherman, who's trying to move on the left-hand side. There goes Ben on the right, down into turn 1. He might try and get PJ as well. He's going to go around the outside of the McLaren in towards that first corner. Oh, they come very close to contact, but PJ just about gets away with it. McLaren driver defending 6th place then early on this Canadian Grand Prix. Ben now up into 7th place, which his defenders dropped the spot. He's now down to 8th. Keeping an eye on Ichain, the other Ferrari, right at the back of this pack. Zach Sherman looking around, trying to find an opening. There isn't one for the time being, to be a DRS train here. Ben might try and go again on the McLaren at the end of this lap. Blaze now with a 2-second lead over Landlord, and Pope just 2/10 behind. So we'll go back up front to see what's going on with these guys. Zach Sherman gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Landlord skidding a little bit on the exit. Yellow flag behind them, and that is the other AlphaTauri of Dan, by the looks of things, who spun out in near the same place that Ethan spun out on the opening lap. As Pope now on the right-hand side, shouldn't be a struggle for him, getting back past Landlord to reclaim 2nd place, as Dan now gets hit with a penalty as well for multiple warnings. Things going from bad to worse for the AlphaTauri driver. As of right now, they've gained a couple of points in the Constructors' Championship, because BJ is still there behind the AlphaTauri, the championship leader. Ferguson 5th place still, right on the back of that Williams machine. Huggy now gets hit with a penalty. Dan into the pit lane now, so I'm assuming he had damage from that spin, so I'm thinking he may have hit the wall. Into the pit lane. Yes, he's lost his entire front wing. So that's going to be a problem. He's onto another set of medium tyres, which means regardless he will have to pit again. I think he knows that. I think he knows that those tyres won't go to the end of the race. He has to try and take them as long as he can. I'm thinking they may last till around lap 22. I'm thinking about 15 laps on these at best. And maybe a set of softs to the end of the race. Or failing that, a set of hards. Pope's now closing in a little bit here. The gap was just over 2 seconds when Landlord was being passed by Pope. That gap's now down to 1.9, so he's gained a little bit, but it's not enough for the time being. Blaze still with a solid advantage. That's now 10 points to be gained, which brings the gap down to 25. Which means he still has to close some more points next week when we go to, I believe it's Australia next week. Yes, it is. Australia on the 20th of June, and then Brazil for the final round. So he still needs to gain some more points in order to stand a chance. If Landon was to finish below 3rd, then that could definitely bring Blaze back into the picture. He's really been fighting hard to close that gap over the last couple of weeks. He's doing a very good job of it. He's taken a number of victories in a row now, if I'm not mistaken. So he won at Abu Dhabi last week, he won in Jeddah, he won in Mexico. Of course, the last victory for Landor was USA. Which, looking at it, was almost a month ago at this point. So the last month has really been dominated by Blaze. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. That is the other Mercedes. Curtis now has got around, so things not looking good for the Silver Arrows. Now he's lost his whole front wing. And the Huggy Bear now into the pits as well. With Magnus out of the pits, sorry. He's onto a fresh set of medium tyres. Blaze now still with that 2.1 second advantage. Landlord's even further back here, so this is not his race so far. BJ chasing the other Alfa Romeo of Fergus right now. As Landor flies off into the pit lane, so he may have damage here. Well, this may be what we're expecting him to do. Is this part of his routine strategy, or does he have damage? Look, routine stop. Onto a set of medium tyres, and the 2-time champion is away. Blaze trying to close that, still trying to close the gap to Landlord in the Drivers' Championship. Sorry, but Landlord looking to close the gap in championships to Blaze, because Blaze has 4 championships to his name, while Landlord only has 2. Blaze won on the run, winning season 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then Landlord took the mantle from him. So these two have been going at it for a long time by this point. Landlord back in 14th. Have to see when we start seeing the rest of the pack into the pit lane here. Pope at a roll of his own right now, because he's still closing that gap. Yellow flag again. That's Lucky Lambo, who's out of the session now. So Lucky retiring early on. So coming towards the end of lap number 9 now, and the start of lap 10 for this Grand Prix. Pope's doing a good job right now, because he's keeping consistent. He's keeping that gap as close as he can. Considering he's on a set of medium tyres, we've seen how good in the past Pope is with tyre management. Speaking of tyres, BJ into the pits, and we've got a crash Ferrari on the main straight, and that's Aiche, and that might bring out the safety car, and yes it does. Safety car then for a crash for the Ferrari of Aiche out of the last corner. And that's two retirees now in this Grand Prix. Blaze will no doubt be frustrated because that's a 2-second gap he had. It's now been lost just like that. So I doubt he'll be too pleased in the slightest. Right then, so we've seen a couple of drivers coming to the pits now. PJ Callaghan into the pits, Ethan in the pit lane. BJ has pitted. They're now on fresh sets of medium tyres. Curtis out of his box now on a fresh set of soft tyres here, so I'm not sure as to what his strategy is. I'm thinking he may go for a set of softs in the middle of the race and maybe a set of mediums to get into the end, because I doubt them softs will take him any further than lap number 20. Pope now takes the lead as Blaze pits onto a fresh set of mediums. Fergus also coming in, so it's a double stack for Alfa Romeo here. They've played this very well. They've got the medium tyres ready. Quick stop for him and he's away. And that will put Landlord up into third place as it stands. So Landlord in about the same position as he was before. Pope is on that set of medium tyres from the start. Looks like he's planned for this. And he now leads the Grand Prix as he ran behind that Aston Martin safety car. Luigi's Fan coming out in P9 here. Fan, who also started on the mediums, now back up to 9th place. Things looking okay for him now as Huggy gets hit with another penalty. So that's three more seconds to his name. Only driver with 6 seconds so far in this Grand Prix. And now wait for the pack to catch up. Back of the safety car, gets him back underway. So Blaze now in a good position. He's on a fresh set of mediums now. So he's going to smell like a rose here. So I feel like Pope will then have to pit later in the race in order to beat him. We'll have to see how long he can take those tyres into the race. If he can take them to around lap 23 or so, we could see him go on a late charge onto soft tyres to win the race. So first four or five cars, that lead pack from the start of the race, already beginning to join up at the front of the safety car. Ben now up into 6th place, he's doing good so far. Fan now in 7th. Still on that one set of mediums. A couple of guys in soft tyres here. Those two drivers being the Aston Martin, the Red Bulls of Websy and Cottony, and Dan in the AlphaTauri also on a set of softs. So Pope then leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Hasn't taken a victory since Hungary earlier on this season, if I'm not mistaken. It was a very exciting fight late on in the Grand Prix. And just managed to prevail and come out on top there. So there's a few times this season, but definitely not the title defence he's hoped for. In terms of the championship right now, Blaze only began. If I look at the fastest lap as of right now, that currently belongs to Touchy Pope by just under 200ths. And as of right now, that would mean that Blaze gains 3 points on Landlord, bringing the gap down to 32, which would definitely be enough to bring things on to Australia in the next round. But that won't be enough to take it to the final race in Brazil. So he needs Landlord to drop a few places, or he needs to score some more points, which means taking the lead from Pope, which shouldn't be too much of an issue considering he's on that fresher set of medium tyres by about 10 laps or so, the difference between those two. So 2 retirees in this Grand Prix, those two being Lucky Lambert, who is experiencing consistent disconnection issues, and the other one being Aiche, who crashed out the last corner. Left that Ferrari mangled on the main straight. And I'm thinking we may be able to get the safety car in this lap and get back to racing. We're just waiting now on Curtis to make his way around to the back of the pack. I'm thinking he might be able to make it here. We'll have to see if the safety car gets round the sector 2 split before Curtis joins up in the back of the grid. If he's close enough, then we will get a start. And the safety car might just pull in later on in the lap, as opposed to the regular split the second sector. So here's a look at your full order then. After 13 laps, Pope leads the way, followed closely by Blaze in second place, Landlord in third, BJ fourth, Ferguson in 5th place, Ben in 6th, C110P found in 7th place. Only 2 drivers yet to make a stop in this Grand Prix, those 2 drivers being Fan and Pope. PJ in 8th place, Luke Sven in 9th, and Ericsson rounds at your top 10. Zach Sherman in 11th, Websy 12th, JB in 13th, and it's Courtney Goblin in 14th. There we go, the best of safety cars in this lap. Ethan in 15th, Huggy Bear 16th, Dan 17th, Curtis 18th, and of course Adche and Lucky Lambert both are out of the races. Curtis now joining up to the back of the pack, which means, so, as well as the message saying that safety car will be in this lap, meaning we can get some back underway. Now will Pope try and pull away immediately? There's a long straight here before the last corner. Will he try and pull away in the final chicane? I'm thinking that might be the strategy here. He may try and get away before the last chicane. Let's see what happens here. He's backing everyone up, but he does have control. Keep an eye on his rear wing to see what he does. Into the last corner. Blaze got a very good exit there, so that might not be what he tends to do, but he's backed him up enough. Try and get away, and get away he has. By about just under half seconds to get back to racing here on lap number 14 of this Grand Prix. Landlord right behind Blaze there, and Zach Sherman passing Ericsson to turn 1, with the Aston Martin going way wide in the process. The Alpine still on his outside, and out turn 2, Ericsson gets the edge and holds on 10th place for the moment. Fergus gets another time penalty. He's still running there in 5th place. So everyone's being quite consistent at the start. Everyone's being very balanced, very neutral. No one's going for anything stupid but not regret later on. Pope trying to pull away here. He's still got about half second over Blaze. That gap is closing a little bit. On those fresh tyres, Blaze should struggle as much. There's Ethan there with a penalty. Back down to DRS straight. No DRS for 2 laps. A lap and a half at this point. Lap number 16 when we get it back, as Curtis now passing Hunter there for 17th. BJ right in the back of Landlord here, to make the way off the last corner, but drops back. Keeps Fergus in play. Lap number 15 now of this Canadian Grand Prix. So Bengo slightly wider there, going into turn 2. He's managed to hold the car. Zach Sherman still looking around, trying to take 10th place away from Ericsson. Through the chicane, he got all out of shape there. And that might open things up for Webster to try and have a go. Potentially down this next straight where they make their way out of the chicane. Up front, Blaze still right there behind Pope. There's Courtney Goblin just behind these guys. So that's 6 seconds now for Fergus, Courtney and Huggy. 3/10 separating the 2 leaders up front. I think Blaze can probably wait a little bit longer here, because he'll have DRS in the next cycle. It'll be a DRS train here. So no one's outside of DRS range, safe in the car at the back. It's Huggy there. As DRS now gets enabled, so Pope might just be a sitting duck here. With those tyres having 10 laps more wear on them than Blaze behind him. He's already keeping close. C110P fan also doing a good job so far. Back there in 7th place. Hasn't lost any places on this restart. Pincher kind of gets hit with another, well, I believe that's another penalty for him. That's his first of the race. I'm thinking Blaze might be able to take the lead here. Saying that it might be too short straight for him to really try. So I'm thinking he might go for it down the main straight, sorry, down the back straight. This is the penultimate straight with a good exit. Ben back there in 6th place. As I said earlier, it's a DRS train right now. So I doubt anyone will get much of an advantage. I'm thinking it might just be even Stevens here to make their way down this DRS straight. Blaze right in the back of Pope, so we're going to see a lead change here. Blaze to the outside, Pope in the middle of the track. And that allows Blaze back into the lead of the Grand Prix. And Blaze be hoping that Pope can hold off Landlord for a bit to allow him to get away. Blaze using that DRS to his advantage and pulling out an advantage. 1 minute 11.4. As Landlord goes around the outside into turn 1, he gets the job done. And there goes BJ looking inside of the Drivers' Champion as well. And there goes BJ, back up into the podium places here. Yellow flag, sector 1, who is that? And that's Websy, he's gone around in the Red Bull. Does he have damage? No, he doesn't. Rejoining here in 18th place. Good move from BJ though to fight his way past Pope, who's now dropping back. Dropping places like flies here. Fergus now moves to the right to get the power down and get the job done. Passing Pope, pushing the Alpine down into 5th place. Things have really come undone for Pope in his last lap or so. And it's not over yet because Ben might be able to pass him down the DRS straight too. C110P fan now 8 tenths behind the Aston Martin, and PJ Khaled almost a second out of DRS range. We just found right behind him here. We're going a little bit wide that last corner. That might open up the door for Ericsson, but not good enough exit from the other Alpine drivers who dropped back. We just found not closing enough. We're hoping not to meet the same end as his teammate did. As Courtney Goblin passes JB into the last corner. Blaze sets the fastest lap once more. I believe that was a 1 minute 11.1. He's already pulled out a second over Landlord. Say what you like about this Alfa Romeo tonight, he is quick. And BJ, speaking of quick, is now also on the chase. 7 points now, actually 8 points between Blaze and Landlord in terms of what's being gained tonight, which means that the gap will go down to 27 points. Which is almost enough to bring you within 1 race win, which would be a good striking distance for next week in Australia. If he can take a victory there, I reckon this championship is in no way done and dusted. A mistake or retirement from Blaze could put Landlord into real championship contention. I mean, he's already leading the way. As I keep saying, if he has a 50+ point lead by the time they leave here tonight, then he will be champion. BJ's looking to change that. He's going to duck to the right hand side now. Brilliant run from the Williams car, spectacular racing, and there goes BJ up into 2nd place while Ben looks to pass Pope. Still the Aston Martin trying to make a move up the inside into that last corner. Not worth it for the time being. As Ericsson now looks to the outside of the Ferrari. That is a move that definitely is worth it. And into turn 1, it looks like he's got him here. But Luigi's Sven not done yet. He's there on the inside. And the Ferrari holds on then to 9th place. So brilliant racing between these two here. Zach Sherman almost 2 seconds off. Currently holding off Courtney Goblin in 12th place. JB gets it with a penalty. Tyler Pope also with a penalty as well. As was Curtis there. I saw his name flash up too. 1.5 seconds now between Blaze and BJ as it stands. As Fergus gets it with another penalty here. So track lane is really catching. It's caught pretty much half the field out. My count is correct. It's 13 drivers who have been hit with penalties. Yep, that is correct. Landlord half a second behind and on the chase here, but Fergus might try and look to pass him first. Of course, he would like to help his teammate out. Remember, if Landlord finishes outside of the top 10, sorry, outside of the top 3, then that'll bring Blaze back within 1 race victory's range. I wouldn't say it's over yet because Landlord's still right there behind. We've got a yellow flag here, and that's Dan, I believe he's gone around. And Dan meets the same end as Aiche, and that brings out the safety car on lap number 20, and that could be what Pope was hoping for. So he's taking those tyres about as long as he can go here. I'm sure he would have liked to go a couple more laps. He can now go into a fresh set of soft tyres potentially and go the rest of the way, as can Fan, but if drivers choose to pit later on, if there's another safety car, and that plan may not work. Well, that brings things back close together, and I'm sure that Blaze will be very frustrated by that, because that's the 2nd time in a row now before a safety car. He's really been building up a lead, and now here he is having to give it all up again. Of course, last time he came into the pits, I'm not thinking that will be the case this time. Blaze into the pits again. So I think we're looking at a set of soft tyres now. Maybe another set of mediums. Have to see. Looks like Landlord's joining him. Fergus, Pope, Ben, Fan, Khaled, Ericsson, Luigi Sven, all in the pits. Fresh set of mediums going on to the Alfa Romeo. Will he get held up? No, he won't. He gets away well. Fan onto a fresh set of softs. For mediums. Pope's going to a fresh set of softs. Ben's going on hards. Fergus onto softs. Landlord on mediums. And this means now that BJ will now assume the lead of the Grand Prix, having not pitted under the safety car. Ben's gained the place on Fergus here. Now he's going to set hard tyres, which he can definitely take to the end of the race, but it'll be a lot slower compared to those around him who are on soft tyres. He's surrounded by two soft tyre runners now, those two being Fergus and Pope. Ericsson, Zach Sherman, JB and Curtis also on those faster tyres. The Blaze here will once again be taking the restart on fresh medium tyres. And we'll be looking to try and take the lead on the restart. I doubt it'll take too long this time for everyone to join up. Potentially we could get a start on the next lap. It's unlikely, it's maybe perhaps a bit unlikely. Still a couple of guys haven't closed in yet, but I feel like we could potentially get a start. And that's good because the more racing laps we get, the better. So in terms of this race right now, Sally Blaze are looking like the favourite to win this thing. But there have been drivers around him who haven't been able to count out just yet. BJ, who will lead the race on the restart. Well, he's still a contender, but most likely have to pit to make it to the end. Pope is there in 4th place on a set of soft tyres, so he could be a dark horse for the race victory. He led a couple of laps on that restart earlier on, was quickly passed and fell down to 5th place. So that could be reversed this time, maybe gaining places. We're under the safety car. I'm having the position changes here. The biggest gainer now is currently JB, who's gained so far. He's got 8 places. So once again, still being him as of right now. The driver has lost the most places is Zach Sherman, who with that pit stop, he's made another pit stop here. He's now down to 17th place. He's on a fresh set of softs, so he went another lap on a set of mediums here, and that will now take him. Those softs are now taken to the end of the race. So we've got a lap fresher softs than everyone else. The safety car might just come in this lap. We're hoping so. Doesn't look like it will, no. That may change. Let's see what it looks like. Will the safety car come in this lap? Yes, it will. So again, back to racing here on lap number 23 of this Canadian Grand Prix. Now, what will BJ's strategy be for this restart? I'm thinking he's going to go for the back of the early approach, which means he could get a terrible run out of the last corner and Blaze to take advantage of that. You almost saw when Pope led the way. They're going to be itching to get going on those fresh soft tyres to see what they can do. Landlord staying right on the tail of Blaze here to make the way off the last corner. BJ's already pulled away to a significant amount here. 1 second as Curtis retired. As Curtis crashed on the back. Yellow flag. Does he get back on the way there? Would that be a safety car? PJ coming into the pit lane now. Front wing change for him. Curtis is out of the race. Could that be another safety car? I'm not thinking it will be. BJ got away well. He's lost time now to both Blaze and Landlord, and Pope's not too far behind them either. A lot of battery on these guys as of right now. Curtis's car has been cleared away, so no plans for a safety car. Pope using his battery here, might try and move up to the inside of Landlord. Looked like he was going for it at the moment. It's Ethan gets hit with a penalty for multiple warnings. Fergus up the inside of Ben to retake 5th place. A good move from him there. The Aston Martin might come back at him with the use of battery. The Alfa Romeo driver also using his. Blaze meanwhile closing in on BJ in an attempt to reclaim the top spot as his own. The top 4 have really pulled away here. Pope now on the outside of Landlord. That'll be the inside going into turn 1, and the Alpine does get him. As the other Alpine, Ericsson, sets the fastest lap, 11.0. So that takes a point off a Blaze. As right now, we're getting 6 points. That bring the gap to 29. That gap will go down to 22. Should he pass BJ for the lead and then hold on to take the victory? Landlord stays where he is. But Pope seems to try and change that. He's going to the inside of Blaze. The two title contenders have been passed by the reigning champion, who's shown them how it's done there on that set of soft tyres. Makes the pass on Blaze and Landlord and takes second place, which could mean we see the championship leaders really go at it here. BJ still showing the way. I'm thinking Pope might take the lead here. Could it be 3 overtakes in 1 lap to seal the deal and take the lead? If that is the case, it will make Blaze's job a lot harder here. He's half a second behind Pope. He's got to stay with him until DRS gets deployed. Of course, BJ and Pope both have penalties, so right now it's Blaze and Landlord technically fighting for the lead. Pope was really looking at it for a moment. Chose not to, as Huggy Bear gets hit with a penalty for multiple warnings again. So right now, 2 drivers with 9 seconds to their name, being Huggy and Fergus. So those two are really, so Fergus will really drop back here. He's currently in 5th place. He's got 1.2 seconds to Ben behind him. Webbsy now getting hit with a penalty. BJ and Pope are looking to pull away here. I think only one of them will, and that'll be Pope should he take the lead. They come now to make their way towards the right-hander. Came very close to contact there between the two of them. Circus all over the back of Landlord here. I'm thinking Pope might get the lead. He's going all out here. Soft tyres, DRS, battery and deploy. And Pope takes the lead now of this Canadian Grand Prix. We use that DRS even further to try and pull away. Go out to the lead. He's pulling already. He's using that battery as well. He's got to get outside of that 3-second range in order to take the lead. Sorry, in order to take the victory. Ferguson will be looking to pass Landlord here. Try and help his teammate out and put him down another place. BJ's disconnected. And that could be another spot here for Blaze as Zach Sherman now gets a penalty. The second one for him in this Grand Prix. Yellow flag. And that's Fergus who's out of the session. Fergus then crashes, that's a safety car. So here we go, that could change things. And I'm thinking we'll see a couple of drivers onto the soft tyres now. Let's go the last 9 laps. So Pope's lead as he takes it. He now gets a taste of the medicine that Blaze has been given. And now his lead is cut to nothing. And I assume his tyre advantage will be cut to nothing too. I'm thinking there's a chance that perhaps potentially Ben could stay out in order to take track positions. He's on those hard tyres. There's no doubt he'll make it to the end, but he might pit. Oh no, no one's pitting. Sorry, no, few cars pitting. BJ in, and Ericsson, Luigi Sven, Courtney, Coblin, JB, Webbsy, Zach Sherman, Huggy Bear, Ethan, all in. Blaze and Landlord both stay out. JB and fresh set softs away. BJ on mediums here. So then, it looks like Pope's tyre advantage will be maintained. Blaze there in second. Ben Knapp's 5th place. His tyres will be the strongest in the late stage. Pope will need to gain a 3-second lead in order to win this race. Blaze as it stands, only gaining 3 points on Landlord, which will bring, as I said, will bring the gap down to 32. So he needs those several sets of points. He can win this race and have Landlord down in 3rd, and that could really keep him with a shot. Ericsson has that fastest lap as well, so that could. So a good lap from him could potentially, good lap from Blaze, so it could bring him back into range even further, bring the gap down to 24 points. He's still got a bit of work to do here, but a poor race for me, a poor finish for either one of these two in Australia next week could see the title one step away, because Landlord will still be in a great position even if he loses out to Blaze today. It's Fan and Ben now both into the pits. They stay down an extra lap for track position. C110P fans lost his front wing somehow. And Ben, I'm not sure if he had damage or not. He's going to lose out. But these two now in the back of the pack. Check position is now lost. I'm thinking we'll be able to go racing this lap. 7 more laps will decide this one. C110P fan now joining PJ Callaghan and Ben at the back. 15 drivers left in this Grand Prix. A very crazy race. 4 drivers still out there on mediums, and of the 4 of them, DJ has refreshed this by 6 laps. Blaze, Landlord, and Websy now up in 4th place. So might he try and claim something late on? Tend to try and push Red Bull further up in the Constructors' Championship. It's a double points finish for them right now. But both Mercedes drivers currently out of the points. It's looking good for them. There's 16 points off Red Bull. Safety car, sorry, off Mercedes. The safety car now in this lap. So 7 laps to decide this Grand Prix. Pope needs to gain a 3-second advantage over the rest of the pack in order to win this one. You best believe Blaze and that Alfa Romeo will be pushing it all the way, and Landlord will be pushing him to the limit. Websy in 4th, trying to claim something. Also on a weak old set of mediums. Top 3 gaining a little bit of a gap here. Websy now 2 seconds behind them, closing back in now. BJ back there in 5th, and Ericsson first of the running cars on, second of the running cars on fresh soft tyres. So here we go then. 7 more laps to decide the Canadian Grand Prix. Green flag goes back out. Everyone up front keeping it nice and easy. Through turn 1, no moves made. For the entire 15 runners. Blaze dropping back here already. 8 tenths between the 2. Landlord there in 3rd. Websy further back. One of those seconds has now been gained. Pope needs 2 more in 6.5 laps. As now Blaze skipped the penalty. And now that'll make Landlord's job a lot easier unless he gets a penalty. Oh, Blaze going way wide there, going well off the track. Oh, skiing a little bit, came very close to contact, but gets away with it. But that's another second now gained. Suddenly Blaze has no advantage and could fall prey to those behind him. May still finish in 3rd place potentially. If he fails to score now, then that will do it. Pope now sets the fastest lap. 1 minute 10.8. Very good lap. Fan now passing PJ Callaghan down the main straight. This gamble potentially hasn't worked as well as he thought it would, with everyone now on soft tyres. BJ holding up Ericsson in 5th. Running up the rest of the pack in general. Obviously keeping himself in front of the Williams. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, with one car each out the points for Williams, not looking good for them. BJ needs to gain some places. 5 points going to this one, separating them. It's looking like that will be 10 points in 5 laps time. Blaze closing back in a bit on Aaron Pope. Ben now passing Honey Bear and the Aston Martin. Those two side by side. Who's going to get the edge? They're toe to toe here. Nothing separating them. Dead even as they charge down the straight. One of them's going to have to give here. Who backs out? And it's Khaled who backs out, but gets a faster run off. So might try and get him back into turn 1. He's got a good toe. So look to the outside now, uses his energy, and Blaze gets the fastest lap back. So that's an extra point on Landlord he'll now gain. As Huggy now holds off. Ben through turns 1 and 2. DRS now being enabled. Websy trying to keep in DRS range. To give himself a chance of staying in front of BJ. But Phil might actually be a sitting duck to Ericsson behind him. Landlord right now on course to win this race, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look at the gaps here. There's 2.8, so Hope might get away with it. We can get a couple more tenths as Ben now once again gets back around Huggy Bear. He's got Mercedes right up his chuff there. Good exit though from the McLaren driver. That'll keep the Mercedes behind for the time being. There goes Pope to the outside, looking into the right-hander. Zach Sherman now passed, and JB going side by side. The Haas driver getting the edge, both having DRS. JB might want to slice out of Courtney Gould in 8th place. Nothing's going to happen there. Everyone has DRS, but Luigi Sven doesn't have any. Luigi Sven at a huge disadvantage now, and could lose 7th place. Ericsson now passing Websy. Change for 5th position. The 2 Red Bulls now 6th and 7th. Courtney Gould completes the pass then. Hope's disconnected up front. Oh! Huggy Bear with a 3-second time penalty now. Blaze now looking to try and take the lead. Just 2 seconds between Blaze and Landlord now as Pope rejoins, still up front. And now Blaze is half a second behind, so that was a godsend. Have to look at the gaps now. 2.7 between Blaze and Pope. Bit of a glitch there, the interval's lost. There goes Blaze now to the outside, looking for the lead. On those warm mediums, he's going to go for it here. And the soft tyres might be wearing off here as Blaze now retakes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. And now he's got to stretch an advantage over Landlord in 3rd place, who has no penalties for the time being. If he takes a penalty now, and that should be back to how it was. Landlord very close here. It's going to be very tight should things stay the same as they are. Pope's still half a second behind. He's still on faster tyres, so maybe it's not over yet. Oh, yellow flag, and that's Websy who's gone around. He made some form of mistake. He's now all the way down to 15th. So Red Bull now taking crucial points, but Mercedes crucially also out the points as well. So it'll be a good race for Courtney Goblin here if he can hold on. However, he does have 9 seconds of penalties to his name, so that could change. Pope still half second, I think that's 6.5 tenths behind Blaze right now. Through the right hander they come. Will Pope now try and get DRS again? Closing in now. Not enough to go for a move just yet. But down the main straight, so he might look at it. If he can use his battery, always a poor exit from him though. That might not matter though. He's closing in as Luigi Sven gets back past Courtney Goblin to make the way through this chicane. Goblin all over him. Still, it's not over yet. 2 more laps to go. And Landlord now down to 4th place. BJ's made the pass. But Landlord should take that spot back. Yellow flag, and that is Websy into the pit lane. On change of front wing and a fresh set of soft tyres. Might try and claim the fastest lap late on. As Fan gets a penalty. He's inside the top 10 now, and he should stay there. Landlord now 3.8 seconds behind. I think that might be enough to potentially put him down to 3rd place. The cloud's now starting to form over the racetrack. BJ needs to get away in order to take 3rd place, but Pope now still all over Blaze. Zach Sherman with another penalty for him. 12 seconds, the most penalties as of right now. That's currently held by Huggy Bear. Pope on the chase, could take the lead back. He'll go around the outside, but backs out of it. As Pope gets another penalty now. And that could put Landlord back up into... And that should put Landlord back up into 2nd place as he goes to the inside now in turn 1 with his Pope to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. He retakes the top spot. And BJ now has 6 seconds too. As Zach Sherman now out of the race. He retired in the pit lane. Blaze looking to take away the lead once more. In reality, he has to hold on where he is and he's through. And should win the Grand Prix. Landlord to keep it clean here. And I believe he should finish potentially 2nd place. Does Blaze go for it or does he stay behind? Will he play it safe or will he go for the risk? Into the last chicane. Blaze putting his chances to win the title on the line. If he crashes now, that could mean the Landlord becomes champion. But Blaze gets him there. Into the final chicane, gets hit with another penalty. And that could mean Landlord wins the race. Blaze over the line now to take the win on track. Does Landlord get there? Yes, he does. Landlord, despite finishing in 4th place, wins the Canadian Grand Prix. And that must be frustrating for Blaze to get a penalty in the last corner to put him just behind. So Landlord then increased his gap by 7 points. That puts the gap up to 42 now. And Ericsson ends up on the podium there, so great points finish for Alpine. Hope falls off the podium, BJ in 5th, Luigi's fan 6th, C110P fan 7th, JB 8th. I believe that's Courtney Goblin in 9th place, and I can't tell you who finished in 10th. But wow. Blaze took that risk as JB now gets driver of the day. Well. Landlord then, despite crossing the line in 4th, takes the victory. It's an intense race here in Canada. It's the AlphaTauri driver who continues to extend his championship lead, breaks Blaze's streak of race victories, and now leads by 42 points at the top of the Drivers' Championship, which means that Blaze has it all to do in Australia next week if he's to stand any chance of taking the title. AlphaTauri meanwhile extend their lead in the constructors' standings over Williams. So then, as we come now to the end of the stream, we'll have a look here at the final results from this Canadian Grand Prix. Landlord wins the race, followed closely by Blaze in 2nd place. 3.2 seconds separation thanks to that late penalty. Ericsson in 3rd. Brilliant podium for him. Pope finishes in 4th there. BJ in 5th. Luigi Sven in 6th. Brilliant race for him. C110P fan 7th place. JB in 8th. Courtney Goblin in 9th. And Ethan takes the final point for Mercedes. Outside the bottom 10 then in the last 5 finishes, it's Ben in 11th. Sorry, the last 4 finishes. PJ Keller 12th. Huggy Bear 13th. Websy 14th. Zach Sherman considered to have finished the race in 15th, despite finishing 2 laps behind. Fergus 16th, the first of the actual DNFs. Curtis 17th. Dan 18th. Arche 19th. And Lucky Lambert rounds out the order. Well, then that'll bring an end to this coverage of round number 20 of Season 12 in the Racers Driving League, the Canadian Grand Prix. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch the last 2 rounds. We'll be in Australia next week. We'll be down under for the penultimate race of Season 12 and the penultimate race for the league on the F1 2021 game. Could the championship be decided next week? Make sure to stick around to find out. So make sure to like, share and subscribe. And as always, hope you have enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.